The state of the results. The states are in the results.
States are the results.
State of the kid.
The state of the kid results are in.
One of the questions we asked kids is, do you think your parents are most interested in your success in school, or being happy, or being kind and caring?
Kids tell us that they believe the most important thing to their parents is achieving at high levels and individual happiness, and that caring for other people is least important.
Sometimes my parents are unkind when they're driving.
Probably when they're like trying to go somewhere that's really important and they're just stuck in their car and they get super mad. Move over, person, I'm trying to get through.
We are like driving and my dad's like, grrr.
Mom does not like traffic. She says, just move. Come on, cars, move. She hates traffic jams.
She's like 20.
Turn to the right, not the left. Oh, people are idiots. And I'm like, that's not that kind.
I remember in California, my mom gets pretty mad because of the traffic, because the traffic is actually insane.
My daughter, she'll actually say you guys aren't being nice. Like when parents argue or are having a heated discussion, but that's also important. What's the do's and don'ts, I guess?
The most important thing in a conflict situation is to not be mean, to not be intentionally hurtful, and to strive towards some kind of mutual resolution. And so to say, you know, I know you saw us arguing before. We both had very strong feelings about whatever the situation was. And at the end of the day, you know, we still love each other and we care about each other. And we were just trying to figure out how we were going to find some way to agree or to work together on this kind of issue.
But you know, it's not always parents sometimes that kids are observing doing unkind things. I mean, really, the question in our survey was adults. How do we address that when people of authority and people with power and, you know, fame misbehave?
The most important thing is to name it and to help and to ask a question. You know, did you hear that? What did you think about it? How did it make you feel? Kind of the exact question that the survey asks. I also think it's really important to find examples of people who are being kind, whether that's in the media, in real life, in stories, so that they see models of adults in positions of power and not in positions of power who are acting responsibly, who are contributing to their community and to the greater good, and who are exhibiting some of the behaviors that we would hope our kids do too.
Nearly half of the kids who responded to our survey, when we asked them what they'd like to see differently in the world, they wanted to see more kindness and less violence. Where are they seeing that there's too much violence in the world?
Everywhere.
Everywhere?
Video games.
Yeah, video games, TV, movies, commercials.
Do you try to protect your children from some of those influences?
I did a better
And how
job
do
with
you
my
do it?
oldest. I felt like I got worse as
easier with the
as
first
I
one.
had more.
I have a 6-year-old and he overheard my husband and I having a discussion around Syria. And the other day in the car, he said, what's happening in Syria and why are people getting hurt? And so how do we balance the discussion between providing real answers that are age appropriate, but still hitting home that message of kindness and choosing kindness in a very messy and sometimes violent or hard world?
I am a firm supporter of protecting our kids as much as we can in the younger ages, with the recognition that when they're younger, we can do that more. So things are confusing and things can be a little scary and overwhelming, and we don't understand why people might not be kind. So you can always talk to me about that, and I might not have all of the answers, but at least you can tell me how you're feeling. We can think about it together, and we can think about things that you can do as an individual, that we can do as a family. Helping kids see themselves as change makers is a really important thing for them as they move out into the bigger spheres of less and less of our control and oversight.
So when I was younger in 2nd or 3rd grade, there was this other girl that was bullying people, and she started bullying me. And this guy that is now considered cool came up to our lunch table at lunch and said, "Hey, back off, like that's not cool." And I think that was nice that he stood up for me.
Well, my friend Amia, she's always nice to me. I was outside and I was about to do a handstand, but then I flipped over on my face, and she told me to go in the shade because I told her that the side of my face was burning.
I just had a really bad day at school, and I'd be like, "Here, want to play with my leg?" And I'd be like, "Oh, that made me feel a lot better." Receiving kindness, it makes me feel better and makes me do something kind for them.
And I told the person that didn't have no one to play with, if I told him I will play with you, and I made him feel better.
I let somebody borrow my money because in 5th grade we use money, and so he didn't get a coupon. He was sad about that, and so I gave him some of my money to get a coupon because I didn't want nobody to feel bad on that fun day. I helped someone pick up their books after they dropped them.
Well, I helped my mommy organize the shoe closets. My friend, and she fell off her bike, and then she hurt her knee really bad. So I went to go ask my daddy for some Band-Aids.
I have at least like $100 for a charity. Actually, it makes me feel pretty good that I'm helping other people.
Parents are telling us that they want their children to be caring and empathetic and have concern for other people, but that's not the message that kids are hearing from their parents, and kids are hearing really that parents want them to be more focused on themselves.
I'd love some thoughts on what can make those messages really sticky for the kids so that they're absorbing them and they're understanding the why behind kindness and empathy and those types of things.
Revisiting is always an option. Doing it outside of the heat of the moment often is easier and more useful because we all know that we don't necessarily behave as our best selves in the heat of the moment. So doing it at bedtime when people are calm. Some families like to have a ritual at dinner around, highlights and low points or roses and thorns of the day. And then having opportunities after you've had a chance to kind of everybody calm down and reflect on what's happening, to come back and say, I've really been thinking about that situation that happened earlier before. It teaches them that they can always go back and reflect on those moments, and gives lots of opportunities for them to then say the same back to us.
And happiness and being kind are not two mutually exclusive things.
Right, absolutely. I think none of them are mutually exclusive, and I think the big takeaway from a lot of the research is we need to rebalance and reprioritize so that this focus on achievement and happiness isn't, running away and carrying a sort of left at the very end.
As my son gets older, I find myself grieving selfishly that increasingly I am not the person that he is around the most. And the older he gets, the less influence physically I have on him.
Yes.
So how do we continue to be a voice that is near the top of the list, even though the frequency is not?
Part of what's hard about parenting is that it's our job to let them go out into the world, and it is terrifying. But prioritizing time together always, making sure that our children know that we value them and our relationship with them, and that we are committed to spending time together, and that spending time together means lots of things, but that one key component of it is talking, and that becomes sort of a habit and a routine that we engage in as well. And reinforcing over and over and over again that one of the most important things to being a healthy person is knowing who you can turn to when you're having a hard time or when you have questions about something, and for kids to know that you will always be that person And they may not choose to come to you in every situation, but that you will always be there, and that even if they've done something that they don't feel great about or that they feel badly about, that you will love them and you will help them figure it out, and that you will be there.
I am very sad when people are unkind on the news.
I don't think it's very right if some people are like they have a good life, and then you got the other people who are just sitting out in the streets.
There's lots of kindness, there's good people, there's people that are trying to improve the world, improve technology, and make the world a better place, but I think that there could be a little more kindness.
People can have a class or something. It teaches them how to be nicer.
We could send people get better cars and help them carry stuff that's heavy. When somebody's sad, you can help them cheer up, and that's what I always say.
I think that to practice more kindness, we should have a channel called the Happy News.
If it's simply inviting somebody to sit with you at lunch, just simple acts of kindness, that's what's going to make more kindness in the world be available.
Just so the world's a better place, I guess. We need more kindness in the world. Walk in someone else's shoes.
If we were going to make a recipe to deliver kindness or to foster kindness in our children, what are the inputs that we should be focused on as parents?
So definitely gratitude, definitely perspective taking and thinking about how other people are thinking and feeling. I think practicing and giving kids lots of opportunities to practice is really important too, as part of that recipe, as you framed it. And then the role modeling is key, but part of what's hard about parenting is that it's our job to let them go out into the world, and it is terrifying. But prioritizing time together always, making sure that our children know that we value them and our relationship with them, and that we are committed to spending time together, and that becomes sort of a habit and a routine that we engage in.
With my daughters now, Daddy, can we get toys? I'm like, yes, you can. If you give up 20 toys you have at the house.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be nice and give the 20 away and get your one toy, or you could just keep it and wait and get something later.
Seems like what you're doing is instilling gratitude in your children for what they have, and that must be very foundational to developing empathy.
Absolutely. Gratitude is important for lots of things in life, and very related to demonstrating concern for others and a sense of empathy. I also think it helps kids in the situation you're describing to have a broader perspective. And so, yes, they might have a self-serving initial instinct to want the toy, but you as the parent can help remind them that they are in a position where they're able to get a new toy and where they have lots of toys at home, but not everybody is.
It sounds like you keep referencing what I would consider maybe two key ingredients to kindness, gratitude and empathy. If we were going to make a recipe to deliver kindness or to foster kindness in our children, what are the inputs that we should be focused on as parents?
So definitely gratitude, definitely perspective taking and thinking about how other people are thinking and feeling. I think practicing and giving kids lots of opportunities to practice is really important too, as part of that recipe, as you framed it. And then the role modeling is key, but being a role model means acknowledging that we're not perfect. Letting kids see us make mistakes, helping them hear us reflect on our mistakes, and letting them know that we know they're going to make mistakes too. Nobody is perfect.